Also at this point, we went ahead and we removed the cam bushing or cam seal out of the timing cover. And we have a new one sitting right here. And it'll be installed just like that. And we'll tap that in around flush. I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna go get some brake clean first, and I'm gonna clean off this entire timing cover and get rid of this gasket material before I do that. So it is off, it is ready to be installed. What's up?
Not much, how are you?
Oh, doing fine. Almost ready to start putting stuff back together.
Good deal.
I think I've got all the parts and all the gaskets and everything, so.
I did a good job parking. Look how good I did.
You did a really good job.
Yeah. You brought it. Hi, Nana.
So,
I'm home early.
are you?
Yep. I was scheduled to work till 7 and it's 6:38.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with yourself with this extra time?
I write a paper, that's why I'm off early.
Oh. I'm bleeding. Somewhere. You know, if Ford would have redesigned this so that you didn't have your water pump coming through your coolant from your water pump coming through your timing cover, that would have been a good design choice. That would have saved a decent amount of time on having to replace timing cover gaskets. Also, another good design would have been to have not put the power steering pump bracket blocking water pumps. But, you know, Ford does things their own way, apparently. Alright. At this point, I think it is done. It's all done one more time for good measure. At this point, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go back and recheck the footage because I only recall removing this bolt and that bolt off the tensioner, and I want to ensure that it goes back the same way it came apart. But I'm pretty sure it only had those two bolts, and I want to double check that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I went back and grabbed the old tensioner just to double check. And I am correct. I only did remove two bolts. You can see right there. You can see right there where the old bolt's at, and right there. And if you check where the new tensioner has a bolt hole right here, there's no hole on this tensioner. So it will just be going back together with the same two bolts that came off. So somewhere along the lines, they've made a revision for that tensioner. And the block does have a bolt hole drilled there and ready for it, but whenever someone put this tensioner on, whether that was Ford or whoever, someone decided that it doesn't need that bolt, so we're not going to use it because they said so. Perfect. Torque to spec. I still got a little bit of play to go. Not much though. Alright, at that point, I think we are fully snugged up. We've officially got our timing cover on, our timing marks are aligned. Now one of the things, I don't know if you're noticing what I'm doing, I'm not just hitting out here on the edges or anywhere, I'm hitting as close to the snout as I can. So if I were to hit out here, there's a chance I could warp this or even crack it. But if I'm hitting it here along the base and I do light contact with the mallet, I'm not going to damage anything. While I can go ahead and also put that on there all the way and make full contact. At this point, my tensioner, I can feel on both sides of the chain. It is dead center on both sides. I am lined up on my timing marks. Before I pull this pin, I'm going to grab my crankshaft bolt. I'm going to put this back in. Okay, I went back and checked the footage because this didn't look like it was going on correct, and it's because it was not. This gear goes on this way as compared to the other way, and I did not make a mental note of that, so that goes on like that. All right, now to test. Now, this is an interference engine. So, if something was out of time, I would know about it at this point. So, alright, we're back to top dead center. Right there. Going to remove our tensioner pin. I think that's how that works. All right. Kind of unusual on this old tensioner system. I don't see any springs or anything, or any mounting points for springs. And this new style's got a spring system on it to actually keep tension on it. So that's kind of neat. But, yeah. Okay. And at this point, the only thing we should have left is actually bolting the timing cover back on, bolting the water pump back on, sealing everything up, doing an oil change. We're going to do an oil change before we fire it, and then we'll try and fire it and see if everything's taken care of.